guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is part of a segment I like to call TV Time with Marli J. Do, 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 do. Woo! No theme tune necessary. Anyways, so today's video is about Line of Duty, as I'm sure loads of you have been hooked, as have I. So, because I don't have a lot of time to film, I'm just going to give a quick rundown of each series so far, what's happened, and I'm going to try and do it in a minute. I've got myself a timer, as you can see, 1 minute on the clock, and I'm going to try and run down each series in a minute, so bear with me whilst I do this. I don't think I'm going to do it, but we'll see. It should be fun to try and do anyway. So I'm going to first start with series 1. Minute on the clock, please. Let's go. In series 1, we're introduced to Steve, Kate, and Inspector Hastings. Steve has joined AC-12 because he refused to be part of a cover-up in which a civilian was killed during an op. Kate is already undercover in DCI Tony Gates, played by Lenny James' team. He's the subject of series 1. He's under investigation for his high arrest rates. I think it's that anyway. He is having an affair. He helps his lover cover up what she claims is an accident. It actually turns out that she killed somebody. He then finds out that she did, gets really angry at her, but then she gets killed and he's in the frame for her murder. He then spends the rest of the series trying to clear his name. He then finds out that Tommy Hunter is the one who's got him over a barrel, so to speak. He gets him to confess after basically kidnapping him. And when Tommy Hunter does confess, DCI Tony Gates commits suicide in the line of duty, and then Tommy Gates is put into witness protection. Alarm taken. Now, next, series 2. We also find out at the end of series 1 that Dot is a bent copper, and we're also introduced to Lindsay Denton, played by Keely Hawes. She's part of a convoy that gets ambushed that's transferring a witness in from the witness protection program. That witness is Tommy Hunter. She is part of the ambush, but she's the only one that survives, so she becomes under investigation. Within that, we also find out about more bent coppers. One of them kills Steve's new partner, Georgia Chopman, by throwing her out of a window. The witness gets killed. Lindsay Denton tries to clear her name. Kate is undercover, but then gets found out. Then Steve goes undercover in order to kind of get Lindsay to confess. She doesn't, but she then ends up going to prison anyway because she was having an affair with a guy called Dryden, who ended up having an affair with the woman that Lindsay was investigating her disappearance, a woman called Carly, who turns out to be an associate of Tommy Hunter's. Whew. I think that's most of it. Good. Running down these things in a minute is hard. Now we're at series 3. This is a bit of a different series because the person that they're investigating actually gets killed at the end of the first episode. His name is Danny Waldron, played by Daniel Mays. He gets killed by a member of his team who's being blackmailed by Dot, who we now know is the caddy, who his name comes up in series 2, I believe. We also see Lindsay Denton return. This time she's back in the dock, this time trying to clear her name. She then basically throws Steve under the bus by saying that they had a sexual relationship, so that makes his undercover investigation of her moot. Kate is undercover within Danny Waldron's team. Dot spends a lot of time trying to frame Steve, and we also get an insight into the Sands View conspiracy, which is basically sexual abuse, widespread sexual abuse involving counsellors and police officers, and that forms the basis of series 3. We then find out by the end of it that Dot, I'm going to go a little bit quicker, that Dot is actually the caddy. Kate finds out, runs after him. 2 secs. Just had to pause the alarm there. Kate runs after him, and then before she gets shot, Dot actually saves her and then uses Morse code to tell us all that there are actually 4 people within the police service that are high up that are bent. I know I cheated a little bit, but it's fine. Now on to series 4, in which we're introduced to DCI Ros Huntley, played by Tandy Newton. She is currently on the tail of a serial rapist who she then finds a guy, but it turns out that he's not really the one who's done it, and the forensic scientist is the one who puts AC-12 onto her. She then has an argument with him and she hits her head. He then goes, I feel, the forensic guy, then goes to dismember her body. She wakes up, there's a struggle, he's nicked in his neck and he dies, and she spends that entire series trying to cover it up, including blaming her own husband. We're also introduced to Jimmy Lakewell, who's her husband's attorney. Roz also gets MRSA, has her arm chopped off. She finally comes clean and then arrests Jimmy Lakewell for being part of a conspiracy in which Steve gets injured. And we also find out that Derek Hilton, one of the top brass, is also a member of the H crew. Whew. Gosh, this is not easy to run down the series in a minute. So I'm hoping that if you have watched it, I've got most of it, and if you haven't watched it, watch it so that you can kind of get an idea about where I'm coming from. So series 5, we're introduced to John Corbett, who's actually an undercover police officer who's gone a little bit rogue. He is really, really on the case of bent coppers, and he thinks Hastings is a bent copper. He finally kind of enlists Steve's help, but then gets all caught up in it, and unfortunately he gets himself killed when one of the OCG crew members, a lady called Lisa McQueen, finds out that there's a rat in the crew and she believes it's John. Obviously it is. We also see the return of Ryan Pilkington, who kills John after he tries to help Lisa get out of it. Lisa is then put into witness protection alongside Jill Bigelow, who's also exposed as a member of the H team. And this is the series whereby Hastings, well, throughout it we think Hastings is H, but then it turns out that he's not. It's Jill Bigelow, and then she almost gets killed by another bent copper, and then she goes into witness protection. Now on to the most current series, which is series 6, and rundown of what's happened so far. I'm not going to do this one in a minute because it is the most up-to-date one. So basically, series 6, Kate is now within a completely different team. She's left AC-12, and during an op, DCI Joe Davison, I believe her name is when they're on their way to exact a warrant, she then ends up delaying them by seeing a robbery. And so that's why she gets investigated by AC-12, because her ex brings that attention to them. She then spends a lot of time talking to somebody on a computer. We don't know who that is. Kate then kind of goes undercover, but kind of not, trying to prove that Joe isn't a bent copper. We also find out that Joe is even more inextricably linked within the storyline because her uncle is Tommy Hunter. We also see that Ryan Pilkington has joined the police service and he's blackmailing Joe into doing certain things and to being on his team because he's still a bad guy. We get to a point where Joe Davison then kind of tries to frame her ex and tries to get Kate to back off, but that doesn't happen. And so what she ends up doing is almost kind of like bringing, like, lying to bring Joe to a desolate area in order for Ryan to kill her. Ryan then confesses to other murders like John Corbett's murder and the murder of Monique Vandra, who was a police officer in the previous series. Kate then kills Ryan. Bye, Ryan. And then somewhat goes on the run with Joe Davison. Then they're captured. I don't know why, really. I don't know why anybody really thought that they were baddies. But anyway, they're both captured and arrested. And during the interview, in which Joe spends a lot of time saying no comment, quite very, very good TV, we actually find out that Tommy Hunter isn't just her uncle, he is in fact her father. Yeah. We also find out a bit about her backstory and about how her mum committed suicide. And then basically she's then put into prison because she confesses to Ryan Pilkington's murder to cover for Kate. So here we are, up to date with what's going on. We're about to find out what happens in the last episode of series 6. And are we going to find out who H is? Who knows? So just give you a little bit of an idea about who I think H might be, or who the conversations around H are. So we've got Carmichael. Oof, she annoys me, you know. She really does annoy. It's such a monotone, but great actress, but character. Could be her, because she was a little bit trying to divert attention away from police corruption talks within Joe Davison's interview, in which Joe then admits that she has been working and doing the bidding of a weird somebody behind a computer, who's H. Is it Chief Inspector Osborne? I think that's his rank. The guy who basically told Steve that he was finished in the first series because he wouldn't go along with covering up the death of Kareem Ali. Is it somebody that we've seen before? Tommy Hunter, perhaps? Who knows? Maybe he's not actually really dead. Who knows? Or is it a completely different character? I mean, it's mind-blowing. But we're about to watch the very last episode, and hopefully you enjoy it, hopefully I enjoy it, and then I'll give you my final thoughts after it. So hi guys, the season finale of Line of Duty is about to start. I'm here with my sister Tamika. We've got our snacks, we've got our drinks, and we're ready. Here we go. So guys, we've just found out that H was Ian Buckles. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very underwhelmed. I really thought it would be someone better than Buckles. I really did. I mean, as they said, he's been bumbling his way through the series, you know, since series 1. And I think he was in 5 and obviously now 6. But it's like, is that it? Really? He was H? No, I just don't see it. And I feel like there's more to the story, which will probably lead into another season. What did you think?
I thought he was going to be Hastings. He was acting shady throughout the whole thing. But then as soon as he confessed, I thought, oh, nah, it's not him, because H wouldn't confess. So then I thought it was that woman he was confessing to, Carmichael's. I thought she looks a bit suspect, but then maybe that's just her face.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping there is a series 7, because I feel like there needs to be more to the story, because if that was it was a very disappointing ending, if I'm being very, very honest. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my video for reviews of Line of Duty. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe below. Go to my socials, follow, what is it, follow? Something. Follow my socials. Yeah.
Click on the link, subscribe, things like that.
Click on the, imagine my sister's better at this. Click on the link, subscribe. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.